What up, boys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're obviously going to be discussing Three Musketeers, as the title and the thumbnail say. Three Musketeers are in a sort of weird spot right now because they've been nerfed to 10 elixir, then buffed again back to 9 elixir, but now have a weird deploy time, and today we're just going to discuss what we should do with them, what's wrong with them, and how we fix all of that. So this video is going to consist of this intro, a little bit of gameplay, then we're going to talk about the problems with Three Musketeers, and then the solutions to Three Musketeers. So if you're here for all the theory and stuff, you might want to skip the little gameplay section, but I'm going to do the gameplay just to show what is wrong with the current Three Musketeers. So I've literally just gone and stolen this deck from the leaderboard somewhere. I've already played one game of it and I've lost because Three Musketeers are trash, but I'm going to show you essentially why they're so trash. So Three Musketeers relies on the concept of fireball bait. Hopefully in my starting hand you're not going to see it, but I have Minion Horde and Elixir Collector in this deck, which are to bait out fireballs. But the problem with fireball bait is that the cards in fireball bait decks aren't necessarily strong in themselves, but what's strong is how they pair together. So you'll find out, but the cards like Minion Horde and Elixir Collector aren't broken by themselves, but when they're all paired together, they become pretty broken, and that's sort of the issue, because you can't nerf just one of them because it doesn't really warrant the nerf, but you can't also nerf all of them because it's a synergy, and you can't necessarily nerf just a synergy, so it's sort of weird, but you're gonna find out. So my opponent has already used his punish card, and he's already used his big spell, which means now is time for me to go with 3 muskets. He's also just used bats for some reason. I've missed a snowball, but I should be okay. It's fine. Yeah, so this is my time to go in, because he can't punish me, and he's already played his big spell, so there are my 3 muskets. Now, I've timed that very well, right? I've waited till his big spell and his punish player out of hand, but if he's now a smart player, he won't play his punish play until he knows that his... Sorry, he won't play his punish play until I play 3 muskets. I don't know if he will do that, because he might not be the smartest of players, but that's what he should be doing. There you go. Again, I've just used my fireball bait card. It's poison bait in this matchup, because obviously my opponent has poison here. But, okay, I didn't know you had that back. Hopefully that comes onto my side. I think I did that right. Yeah? Cool. Alright. Fine, that was a really weird rotation for me. But he's just used his poison, and... ooh, I don't know what I want to play. I'm going to go with Collector because he does have Royal Giant in hand, and if I go with 3 muskets, he will just punish me and ruin me, and that's like a problem with 3 muskets. Usually you play them here, right, and with a 1 second deploy time, they'd be fine, but they don't have that anymore. Alright, I'm going to split this way. I think he's back to poison, but I'm actually not minding of it. Because if he plays, I just go Minion Horde. You're not going to play it? Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool, and then I can play Horde. That's fine. And then I can go Bandit in front of this. Oh, please kill that princess. Alright, nice. Are we good? I don't think we are, you know. I'm gonna have to do this. Oh, I lost the tower anyway. So, yeah, there's sort of the problem with 3 muskets. You get punish played a lot now because they have this weird deploy time. And yeah, I've done it here, right? I'm expecting them to deploy instantly, but no, they're actually gonna take damage. I mean, it sort of sucks. And now we can poison this side. So, I need to go in like this. I know he's got Valk. Valk's gonna ruin me if I play it. Yeah, I couldn't play Bandit in there, because Valk would have just ruined me. God, that's so annoying. Alright, please go, please go, please go, please go. Ah, he's poisoned. Well played, dude. Yeah, he played that really well. But you can sort of see the problems with 3 muskets where you can't really play the card. I actually almost got a draw out of that, and I would have actually won that game, because I had 2 muskets locked on over here. But you still see the issue, right? You can't ever play it to invest because your opponent's going to punish or use a spell. And you can't ever play it to defend because they have this weird 3 second deploy time now. So they're not really versatile at all. They have one use case, and that's to be put on the board and then to attack. But stopping that attack is like extremely easy because you literally either just punish them or use a spell on them. And nerfing this or buffing this has become incredibly hard because fireball bait exists, and that's really problematic for the game. So now we get onto like the problems of balancing 3 musketeers. My first point is at 10 elixir they're pretty trash because you will always waste elixir. There's no way around that. It's a game mechanic that can't be changed. You put the 10 elixir down, you have to wait for your troops to actually go onto the board for a second, and that wastes elixir from you. So actually they're nearing on 11 elixir instead of being the 10 elixir cost that's advertised to you, I guess. And you can't really change that because that's a game mechanic. That's in the game. That's how the game works. So just putting troops at 10 elixir will never work. At 9 elixir with a 3 second deploy time, we've discussed how they're just not versatile at all. You have to put them on the board to attack, and then they get get punished or they just get spelled. You can only really put them in two places, right? You can put them behind your king tower, but then you're just going to get punish played because they're there for 3 seconds and won't actually go defend anything, or you put them in front of your king tower where they're just susceptible to getting spelled off the board. And then at 9 elixir with the 1 second deploy time, they're just so overpowered because of fireball bait. You put them down, they're there to defend, your opponent has to spell them, then you punish with other fireball bait cards. However, nerfing those fireball bait cards isn't the solution because those cards aren't inherently strong in themselves, they're only strong because you've then baited out a spell. And another problem comes in that it's hard to nerf the normal Musketeer right now because the normal Musketeer is actually really good, but 3 Musketeers are actually really trash. So you got this situation where if you buff normal Musketeer, 3 Musketeers will be balanced, but normal Musketeer will be OP. But if you nerf normal Musketeer, then normal Musketeer will be balanced, but 3 Musketeers will be completely dead. So now we go into my solution to this problem, and it's actually going to be with nerfing the normal Musketeer, but buffing the 3 Musketeer card. And obviously that's like the only way to do this, but I've got sort of like my way of how I'd like to see it done, because I feel like this is the safest bet. So we already know that we can't touch the elixir count of the 3 Musketeers, because 10 elixir just, it doesn't work. And taking them down to like, you know, a 6 elixir but only having 2 Musketeers, that would be sort of a very, very big change for the card, and I don't really think it would work, because when you play 3 Musketeers, you have the 2 Musketeers and a 1 Musketeer split, but you always want to push for the 2, because the 1 Musketeer, it isn't really that useful, and in that situation, you could just use a normal Musketeer instead of the 3 Musketeer card. You can't nerf the health, because if they died to fireball, they'd be literally useless, and you can't really buff the health either, because that doesn't change too many interactions and isn't the most useful of things. You can't buff their damage either, because that would just make the normal Musketeer OP, and it's already pretty strong in the meta right now. You can't touch the hit speed for pretty much the same reason, they'd just literally become machine guns. So my proposal is to actually touch the range, to take it down to the same range as a wizard, which makes it easier for newer players to understand, and it also kills off this weird interaction with cannon where Musketeer will outrange it for some reason. Like, it doesn't do that with any other building. Why does it outrange a cannon? I don't know. So this nerfs the normal Musketeer a little bit, but it also nerfs 3 Musketeers, which is the key here. Obviously, overall, we want to buff the 3 Musketeers, and to do that, I'm going to suggest that we take their deploy time back down to a second so they can be used for defensive value. So now what we've got is a nerfed Musketeer, but a buffed 3 Musketeer, which is what we want in the right direction, and it's also, it makes more sense in terms of interactions, because the range is the same as a wizard, which is consistent, and also it doesn't outrange cannons, which was weird. So I'm not saying this is the dead set solution that's going to work and it should happen right now, but what I am going to say is that this brings Musketeer and 3 Musketeers to a closer power level, which is what we want to achieve. So what you can now do with those to a closer power level is to change the hit speed by 0.1 seconds at a time. If the Musketeer and 3 Musketeers are too weak, then you make them hit faster, but if they're too strong, then you just make them hit slower. But only change it by 0.1 second at a time so you can gradually get them to that right spot. So yeah, that's like the overall goal, right? To make the Musketeer worse, to keep the 3 Musketeers at 9 elixir, then gradually change them both until they're both in a balanced state. And personally, I just think that makes the most sense, right? There's flaws in every balance I can suggest, but to me, that one has the most, like, logical reasoning. And yeah, that's what I think we should do to 3 Musketeers. Again, leave me your suggestions in the comments, leave me your thoughts on 3 Musketeers as well, because it's a very divisive card, and in my opinion, I don't actually want it to be meta, but it is like a topic in the game right now, so I thought I'd discuss it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the style of video where I did like some gameplay and explained why something's bad and then what we should do to it. It's playing games, a little bit of theory and strategy in there, and that's all good. Once more, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching, and peace.